Hi, everyone. My name is Tony Martinez with Latino Tax Professionals Association, and I want to thank you for being with us today for another webinar. This one will be short. I know it's tax season, and I know we got to get back to our clients, but I wanted to update everyone on a lot of the questions we've been getting. The main question is, can I still claim dependents if they live in Mexico? There's new credits, there's rules, there's changes to the exemption. So there's a lot of confusion around that. So anytime you have questions, please let us know. And if we get enough questions, we create a webinar around it or an article or just more information to share. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. And those of you on Facebook, please comment if you have any questions. And those of you on the webinar, also the same thing. Please comment and give us your questions, and I'll be able to answer them. Again, it'll be about 15 minutes. We're not going to take long, but a lot of good information. So the first thing is we want to thank our sponsor, Canon. If you are looking to scan your documents, consider one of the Canon scanners. Give us a call. We have special discounts for Latino Tax Pro members on these scanners. So let us know, especially with due diligence. I know we got to keep a lot of the records, so don't have a bunch of file cabinets in the back. You should be scanning and saving them up online, but Canon scanners. Now let's jump right in. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act has created massive changes across the IRS. One of the most impactful changes is the reduction of the personal exemption to zero. Now, the exemption is now zero, which has led to a lot of people asking, should I even claim any dependents? What's the point of claiming dependents if the exemption is zero? Well, the answer to that is there's credits. There's still credits that you want to claim the dependents and be able to get. But what about if the dependent is in Canada or, in this case, in Mexico? Do they still qualify for certain credits or certain deductions? Is it even worth it? Let's find out. The first credit we are discussing today, the other dependent credits. This is a new non-refundable $500 credit available for each qualifying dependent. However, to be a qualifying dependent, the dependent must be a U.S. citizen, U.S. national, or U.S. resident alien. To be a U.S. resident alien, you don't need to have a social security number. You could have an I-10, but you need to be in the U.S. You need to be in the country, in the United States. So the dependent must live with you over 6 months and be in the U.S. They could have an I-10 or they could have a social security number. But your dependents in Mexico are not going to qualify for this new other dependent credit. So for this one is a no. The child tax credit, this has never been the case, but I want to bring it up anyways because sometimes there's confusion. So the child tax credit did go up to $2,000. $1,400 of it is refundable. $1,400 of it is refundable. But again, you must be a U.S. citizen, U.S. national, U.S. resident alien, and in addition, the child must have a social security number. That's another change this year. The child must have a social security number, but it doesn't matter because your dependents in Mexico are not going to qualify. So no on the child tax credit either. There is some good news regarding your clients who are single. If you have any clients who are single and they have dependents who live in Mexico and the dependents are their parents, they may be able to claim them. But let's first look at the rules of the head of household. To be eligible to claim head of household filing status, the taxpayer must be unmarried or considered unmarried on the last day of the year, have paid more than half of the cost of keeping up a home for the year, and have a qualifying person live in the taxpayer's home for more than half of the year. The only exception to that is if the qualifying dependent or the qualifying person is your parents. Your parents do not have to live with you in the home. So that means if you are single and you have parents that live in Mexico and you are supporting them, you then could qualify for head of household. However, you must provide over 50% of the support for the parents. They must have an active ITIN, so it cannot be expired. It needs to be active, the ITIN. And also, if they're making money, they need to be making less than $4,150. But that's good news for those that are single and have parents in Mexico. They claim as dependents. They still qualify for head of household, because remember, the definition of a dependent has not changed. To be a dependent, you must be a resident of Mexico, Canada, or the US. That still applies. That has not changed. The only thing is, since the exemptions went away, then even though you could claim certain dependents, they may not even get a benefit, right? But the definition of a dependent has not changed. You may also want to claim dependents still for your state tax returns. It may still allow them, the certain states still may allow dependents to be on the tax returns. Like in California, for those dependents that are in Mexico or Canada, California still allows an exemption credit, because a lot of states still have not conformed to the federal changes. So check with your local state to see if there's still a benefit to claim a dependent from Canada or from Mexico. But they must have a valid ITIN. Make sure it's not expired. A lot of ITINs have been expiring. Make sure they have not expired and the ITIN is active. If they have expired, we recommend renew the ITIN first and then file the tax return. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. This video will be up on YouTube. We also have a new podcast. We are working very hard this year to provide you fresh content that we write, that we investigate, that we research. We are looking to hire more team members to act as journalists, to go in. I'll be in Washington, D.C. next week at the IRS headquarters, getting you the latest tax updates. And a lot of our team members are doing a lot of research across various platforms. But if you subscribe to our podcast or YouTube or Facebook, a lot of you are on Facebook, you'll get a lot of that information. In our newsletter, I know a lot of you get our newsletter already. So just be on top of it, hit our website, follow us, and of course, join us this summer at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, July 30th, 31st through August 1st, as we bring you 3 days of learning, networking, and fun. We're going to have key speakers. We're inviting the IRS to return and speak to our crowd again, industry experts, a lot of topics on the new updates, on Section 199A, on ITIN and immigration, a lot of attorneys, enrolled agents, CPAs, a lot of great information in English and also in Espanol. Everything we do is bilingual, so there is going to be classes in Espanol. There's also going to be a huge mercado, marketplace with a lot of partners and sponsors and a lot of resources for you to learn how to grow your business. And at the end of a long day, bring out the margaritas, bring out the mariachi, and vivo mixer, socialize, network with your fellow peers, pick their brain, learn from them. We like to have fun also at the end of the day. The second day will be a pool party out in the pool, a great mixer. So again, a lot of long, very resourceful, knowledgeable days and nice, fun evenings. Join us. Register as soon as you can. The earlier you register, the better the price. Why pay more? Just register now, get a good price. Book your hotel room. We have a deal with Southwest Airlines to get you a really good rate also. A deal with the MGM to get a good hotel room. So don't wait. And thank you very much. Is there any questions at this time? If there's any questions, please let us know and we can answer them in about an hour at 12 a las 12. Vamos a dar esta presentación en español. We will be giving this presentation in Spanish in about 45 minutes. So 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern, 2 Central. We're going to do this in Spanish and español. So invite anybody who would want to join us. So again, if there's any questions, please let us know. Here's a question. Can 2 people on head of household have the same address? That gets a little sticky because they need to prove, if there's 2 people with the same address, they need to prove that they are maintaining a household. It happens so often, right? With a lot of our clients, with the Latinos or the immigrant taxpayers, they all we all live together to survive. So if there is two head of households with the same address, just have proof that they are maintaining each of their households, whether it's bills from the utility companies or whether it's from lease from the landlord. Where it gets sticky is where two people that are not married but have children together and they're claiming head of household each. That's not allowed, right? They have children in common and it's one household, it's not two. But other times though, it could be a mom and a few kids and another mom and a kid, and they live in the same household, but they're two different families. Then you then need to prove that they maintain separate households. If the IRS sends a letter, they just want more proof of that. So it is possible, but you need to just be careful with that. Here's another question. Can the person that lives here file married filing joint if their spouse is in Mexico? Yes, they could file married filing joint. The spouse in Mexico needs an I-10. And that's another reason that you could essentially have, that's a good point, I'm gonna add it to the presentation, have a spouse in Canada or Mexico, and they could get an I-10 and you could file married filing joint. Very good point, good question. Thank you. We hope to see you soon, and let us know if you have any more questions. Happy tax season, and let us know if things come up. We'll be sure to see you soon. Bye.